are in. Are we good? All right, here we go. This is exciting.
First teller.
Our first teller. And by the way, this isn't like most slams where the first teller, you're like, oh my God, I'm the first. No, there's only going to be 4 tellers in this section. No one's penalized here. No one's penalized here. Our first teller, live from Brooklyn. Let me find you. Let me mute you. No, Ronna, it's not like that kind of slam. It's not a penalty. But because you're the first one, Ronna, take your time, seriously.
So I can go over.
I'm just saying. Not saying that. We're good. We love you. We support you. Everyone else, mute yourself, please. And then when I find you for your time, I will unmute you. Take it away, Ronna.
So I just start whenever?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in my therapist's office and I just blurted out, like, getting up in the morning makes me really, really nervous and anxious. And going out at night makes me nervous and anxious. And everything in between getting up in the morning and going out at night just stresses me out. I mean, even simple things like making my bed. So I just sleep in a sleeping bag. And I know that I need calm and relaxation. So I tell my therapist I'm going to do yoga. So I get a yoga outfit and I get a mat and I roll it out and the lights are low and the instructor starts. And she tells us to get on our sits bones. And I'm like, I don't know what sits bones. But before I can even raise my hand, we're saluting the sun. And then we're doing a mountain pose and a warrior pose and a cobra pose. And we're posing and we're posing. And then she says, stretch, get on your sits bones. Stretch, get on your sits bones. What the fuck are sits bones? And then I look around and everybody's sitting down. Oh, it's a secret yoga word for ass. Well, I am on my ass, man. I am twisting and turning and posing and I'm getting stressed out and I'm getting nervous and I quit. I just roll out the yoga mat because I am going to go home and I am getting in my sleeping bag and I am going to get in the fetal pose. Thank you.
Well done, Ronna Levy in Brooklyn. Tellers, you can say nothing when you're done. You could say thank you, or you could say the ceremonious traditional boom. No pressure either way. We will know when you're done. We will give you the benefit of the doubt. When I call your name, please take your time. There's no rush. If you take forever, I'm going to give you my angry face. Don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know.
That was more my constipated face, wasn't it? That was the wrong face. Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay. Thank you, Ronna, for leading us off. Remember, after our 4th storyteller, you're going to vote only for your favorite. Everybody who's on here will get to vote. All right. Number 2 in section 1, round 1, live from somewhere in Florida, I believe. Walt B. And by the way, I didn't
okay. All right.
last time, so sorry.
I'll unmute myself. So early. Are you ready? My father was a notorious flirt. He couldn't help himself. Whenever he saw a good-looking woman, or well, any woman, he would start flirting. And my mother tolerated this. She wasn't jealous. She would often say, "He's like a dog chasing a car. He wouldn't know what to do with it if he caught it." Now, we're on a trip, a summer vacation, and we're going from my hometown in Greenville, South Carolina, all the way down to Hollywood, Florida to visit my aunt. And this is before there's interstate highways and fast food restaurants. It's 1950s. And I'm 7 years old, my sister's 6, and we stop. At the first stop we stop is a truck stop, diner, laundromat, taxidermy place outside of Athens, Georgia. And we go in there, and our waitress is a beautiful young woman. Her name is Lenora, because we can see it on her tag. And she's tall and thin, and she's got a bouffant hair that makes her a little bit foot taller. And she comes over, and my father gets excited. You know, his eyes are twinkling. He's got a big grin on his face. He's ready to flirt. He's going to show off his world knowledge. And he says, "Lenora." "Yes, sir." "Are you from Athens, Georgia?" She says, "Yes, sir, Athens, Georgia." He says, "Have you ever heard of Athens, Greece?" She stops for a moment. She looks. She says, "Greece? Greece? No, I'm pretty sure we use lard from Buddy's Food Service." My mother didn't stop laughing till we got to Valdosta. And she had a new power. Whenever my father got too big for his britches and started flirting, she just said 2 words: Athens, Greece.
I'll say it. Boom. Walt in Florida. Thank you, sir. Apologies to Ronna. I don't think I spotlighted you, but I don't think that will affect the scores. So our first teller was Ronna Levy, and now it's just all we had to do is hear you. I shouldn't have said anything. Ronna 1, Walt 2. Good start to our slam here. Mary, you cool with the timing thing in the 80 seconds?
Doing
Ronna,
great.
Walt, did you see the 80-second? Yeah, it's hard to identify the way we're doing it.
Yeah.
We'll work it
But-
out. We're tweaking.
Yep.
Good. Teller number 3, section 1. Here we go. Another New Yorker. I'm going to spotlight you. Everyone else should please be muted.
I'm backpacking through Ireland alone, looking for adventure. It's my 3rd day. I just got into the country. In the town of Kildare, I see this castle ruins off in the distance, and I get the idea. I am going to spend the night sleeping in that castle ruins over there, sleeping under the stars. Wow. The day goes on, night comes. Now it's dark and it's time. I make my way walking to the castle ruins. Now that it's cold and dark, I'm starting to have second thoughts. Maybe this isn't a good idea after all. I go inside. I see a little patch of grass. I'm going to put my sleeping bag down, but I see broken glass and empty beer bottles. Now I start to chicken out. I don't think I can do this. Nowhere to go. I remember there's a hostel at the end of town. I make my way to the hostel. I get there. It's well after midnight. Fingers crossed, I try the front door. The front door is unlocked. I tiptoe inside. Everyone's asleep. I see an open door with some bunk beds. I go inside quietly. I don't even take a bed. I just put my sleeping bag on the floor. 2 minutes later, all the lights go on. It's the owner, mad as hell, telling me to leave. I offer to pay him. No, you have to go. He kicks me out. I put my sleeping bag on the front lawn. The sleeping bag sucks. It's cold. It's wet. I try to sleep. It starts to rain. I can't sleep. All night, I'm freezing and cold. The sun rises in the morning. Too cold and tired to go back into town to get a bus. I put my thumb out, and that begins my hitchhiking trip across Ireland. Boom.
And there it is. Man, what are the odds that we've had New York, Florida? That particular combination is astronomically small, the odds. If you just do the math around that, it is almost impossible what just happened. Thank you, Andria. I love imagining the rest of people's homes. Do you guys do that with Zoom?
Yes.
Right. Like what's around everyone? Because we always
Right.
see the same image. I'm sure I'm not alone. Thank you. Great start. Last teller of this section, then we're going to vote. Ronna Levy, Walt Belcher, Andria A. I'm not sure how I pronounce her last name, but it's a funky, cool name. And our final one of section 1, live from Iowa City. And I promise you, he's the only one from Iowa City who will be here this evening with us. Probably the whole state of Iowa. Kory. No.
When I was little, I couldn't stand hearing the stories that my parents would tell at our family reunions. And I was treated to that same level of apathy on Thanksgiving. I put up slides on our family Zoom call, and my children all started doing this. I really fear for the future of storytelling in my family. I just don't know how we're going to pass on those stories of my great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather who fought in the Civil War, or how my dad moved from Southern Illinois to Iowa. And then last night happened. My youngest daughter, Olivia, arrived on the storytelling scene at an event that I threw last night. And she didn't just arrive, she kicked open the door and told a story about how she paid $35 to get on a stripper pole. It did capture my attention because I hadn't known about this. But looking at the reception and how many friends of mine became her friends last night, I think we might be okay. Because what I saw from her was an interest in storytelling. And what that tells me is that the legacy of storytelling in my family is in really good hands. Boom.
Hey. Kory, sir, let me figure out how to remove that spotlight from your handsome face. That is how we do it. That's how we roll. Section 1 done. You know what you can see right now in some of the audience right now? You know what you can see, Mary? Sweat. You see sweat. You can almost smell it through Zoom. You can smell the sweat because they're scared, and they should be, but they should also be happy. We could be both, right? Life is a bunch of nuance.
Totally.
You could be scared and happy.
And happy.
And add a little something else. But would you please, for both audience and tellers, everybody except me and Mary is going to vote now. After Mary summarizes these 4 stories for you. Whenever you're ready, Mary.
Yes. So Raina from New York decided that the fetal pose was more relaxing than having to work on her sit bones in yoga.
Yep.
Walt B, Athens, Greece meant a different thing to the waitress Lenora with his dad. Andrea talked about her hitchhiking trip, or the start of her hitchhiking trip in Ireland after she got thrown out of a hostel and decided to leave the castle ruins to themselves. And Kory and Ira's storytelling legacy will be carried on based on a story about a stripper pole.
Yes. Okay. This should be a poll that I will be able to launch and share with you right now. If it doesn't work, you are going to, remember I said earlier, I promised you that there will be moments that I would curse.
Is this one of them?
This will be one of them if it doesn't work.
It's going to
hear
work.
me curse, but
It's gonna work.
this is what we do. We got it. Ronna, Walt, Andria, Kory, I am launching it. Everybody should be able to vote. We'll give you about 30 seconds. I hope every single person please votes. We will not tell you who won until the end of the round. Woo! Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
We got about 10 more people that haven't voted. Let's do it. Man, how do we get more than 40 people onto this event? I'm looking at 100. People got other stuff they're doing, I guess. What do we got to do? Get naked over here?
You are. I'm not.
I'm not. I want people to stay on the meeting, not leave.
All you, buddy. I'll be all you.
All right. Whenever you're ready, Mary, you can close the poll.
Okay.
Are we 37 to 41 minus the 2 of us? There are 2 people, and it won't make a difference, so we can close the poll, okay?
All right.
We good?
We good.
All right. We are not showing results yet. Great job. Section 2. We got to roll along because if we don't, it'll be like 9:30. People get all cranky, get all antsy.
Yeah, you know,
We
plus
want to
it's such
create any
amazing
marital
stories.
problems or strife.
We don't want to do that. We want everybody to be happy that they're here and
This
enjoying
is a
the
space
story.
of joy and abundance,
That's correct.
right? We want to practice abundance.
Abundance.
Here we go. Our next storyteller. He's no newbie, I'll tell you that. Also in Massachusetts.
Yes.
Let me find him in that big ass headset he's got. I will spotlight you. Take your time. Break a leg.
If you shit your pants, go to the bathroom. My friend Meg is so loud when she's drunk, so I try to calmly explain to her. We're at our 4th bar at our St. Patty's Day bar crawl, but after this moment, I know it's my last. I explain that I was drunk enough to trust a fart, but sober enough to understand the magnitude of what just occurred. And even though I was in the bathroom and easy to clean up, there's something that just makes it feel like the party's over. And as I'm explaining this to her, I look at the entrance of the bar and my ex walks in. The guy from college who broke my heart and I hadn't seen since graduation. So I'm trying to get out of that bar as quickly as possible. But while I'm waiting for my Uber, he comes up to me. He asks me about work and I'm like, "Oh, I just got promoted. How are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, that's great. I was just laid off." And I'm like, "That's so terrible." And I try to be sympathetic, but My Uber's here and I have to run to another party. I definitely don't have to go home and wash the shit off my legs. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, it really seems like you have your shit together these days." And in that moment, I did. Boom.
Zach, good job. Massachusetts always represents well.
They do.
We're not
They do.
sure if it's something in the air or the water or perhaps in the political machinery,
All the above.
but something is happening in that part of the country that is producing stuff. Great job, Zach. First teller of section 2, round 1. It sounds like some long bill that's trying to get passed through the House or Congress. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Check the chat, everybody, because there's a lot of love that people can't tell you with their mouths until after we're done. For now, it's coming through the chat. Section, here we go. Teller 2. Here we go. West Coast representing. Let me find her. Take time. There she is. Ashley, can you unmute yourself? And whenever you are ready, we are ready.
Around this time every year, I get flashbacks. Flashbacks when I was a holiday dancer at a theme park. I still remember that first audition. It was a bright Saturday morning, and I was in my best warm-up gear because I was not going to get intimidated by the competition. There was one dancer, she was whipping out multiple turns, and there was another dancer with her leg on the wall. But for me, I just had to focus and learn this choreography because it was coming fast. So I gave it everything I had. I danced my heart out, and the choreographer loved it. She wanted to know my dress size, and that meant that I made it. I got my dream job as a holiday dancer. I'd have the opportunity to dance for 10,000 people and fulfill a childhood dream. But little did I know that this was just the beginning of a wild ride. Boom.
Good job, Ashley. What do we think of the hands thing? Is there, can we get rid of this shit? Is there something else I'm tired of it. I know you all mean well. I know everybody has no other way to do it. We can't clap.
No.
Richard has it. That's it.
That's it.
I
Okay.
just think this is not as good as it could be. Maybe I'm not good at it. I don't know.
Thumbs
man.
up.
I just clap
Yeah, like what? I mean, I don't
like a
know.
normal person.
We're all doing the best we can here. I guess you're right.
We are.
Somehow this became the thing, and then we couldn't get away from it.
Jazz hands.
Either way, Ashley, great job. Thank you. Ashley's not told a story in my little circle or bubble before, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
Next up, whoa, Michael B. Michael B is also, I think he's new to this bubble. Michael B, you got to unmute yourself. Take your time. Have some fun. Michael, you got to, hang on, back up. You got to unmute yourself and then start over. Yep.
Okay, how are you guys tonight?
We're good, man.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I never made the 1980s. I entered the world in 1991. One of comedy's spit your gut laughing eras, the Jim Carrey era. Famous now for a ton of movies, but I guess my love for Jim Carrey started when I was 2. Years I starting at my grandparents in front of their Hitachi big screens, popping my videos on the VHS. On comes Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I'm sorry, I'm a little stoned right now. I didn't think that came out right. You ever watch that epic movie? Well, Ace is hilarious, and I learned how to mimic him exceptionally well. So my family and I hit up the Eaton's center for Christmas shopping. My mom and dad have the curly telephones because my parents, who were first parents paranoid, were in the Ian Center for the first time. The place is packed. Every weirdo and squeegee kid walking through the mall. That's when the comedy bug hit me. I ripped my pants off, snowsuit and snow pants, pull down my underwear, and command everyone behind me for their attention. Just like my hero, Ace Ventura, I grab my butt cheeks and make my rear end talk. Attention, Kmart shoppers!
Do not tell me you froze right there.
I think he froze.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what we're going to do, because I think he was coming to the climax there. Michael, you there? All right. All right. We'll work it out. We'll do something fair. Michael, you're back. Was that the end, or did we miss the end? All
No,
right.
that was then.
Okay.
All right, because you cut out for a second and it was
Attention,
frozen.
Kmart small shoppers.
That's how it ended, right? Attention, Kmart shoppers. Good. I love
Yeah.
the extra information you added there in the moment. Little extra. I love that. Thank you, sir.
No, not right now, Rob.
Okay. There's extra stuff going on too. This is epic.
I'm sorry. I live in a rooming house,
No
and
problem, man.
sometimes random people come to my door.
Yeah.
Dude, you crushed it. I appreciate you being here and sharing that.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. All right. Michael was number 3 of 4 tellers in this section. Now, just so you know, pink means this is the first time they've been here. They may be telling stories for years. Green means that they are vets. 1 slam means you're a vet. So if I pick a pink name, it's going to go back in the hat just to balance things out a little bit, just so you know. And it is pink. It's going back in. It is, what is the odds of this?
I'm telling you.
Richard knows math. Give me some stats here. Here we go.
Ah, there we go.
What just
Speaking
happened?
of Richard,
What just happened?
you conjured
Kidding
him.
me?
You conjured him.
So now
Only-
you're doing magic tricks.
That's
Only
right.
like years of producing stuff can you do what I just did.
That's right.
Take your time, Richard, and you do you.
When I go to a foreign country, I want to do something that the country is known for. So like if I go to Belgium, I want to eat Belgian waffles. So I was on a business trip and decided to take a side trip to Macau. So I wanted to do something Chinese. And my first thought was to go to an opium den, but unfortunately they apparently don't exist anymore. So my second thought was I want to go get a massage where they walk on your back, because I've seen that in the movies. So I go to this very fancy spa, and I go and they take me into the massage room, and I get on the massage table, and this girl comes in, and sure enough, she gets up on the table and she's on my back, and there are handles on the ceiling that she holds onto. And she says, "You didn't sleep last night," which was true. And I said, "How do you know that?" And she says, "Your back knows." And I'm like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And I'm really there. I'm starting to relax, and she's cracking my back with her feet, and the phone rings. There's a landline in the room, and the phone is ringing. And she gets down and she starts talking on the phone in Chinese. And now I'm getting pissed off. And I'm like, what is so important that they're interrupting my massage with this phone call? And she says, "It's for you." Boom.
That was arguably the most, I don't know what the word is, but something just happened in the section of 4 storytellers that I've never experienced. My emotions were just all over the place. I
Yeah.
was crying. I was laughing. I was angry for a moment. I don't know why. Had some flashbacks of my childhood. Queen Mary,
Yes, darling.
when you are ready,
Yes.
give us the 4 names, the summaries, and we are going to vote.
We're going to vote. It's amazing. All right, Zach started us off with having his shit together at a bar where he bumped into his ex.
Yeah.
Ashley talked about landing her dream job as a holiday dancer and dancing her heart out for 10,000 people. Michael talked about his comedy debut at the mall after being inspired by Jim Carrey. And a phone call came in during a massage in Macau for Richard.
Done. Boom.
Boom.
All right. Our goal is if there are 40 people on here, -2, we want 38 people voting now. Do we not?
That's right. Absolutely.
What a great way to start tonight off with these two sections.
I'm telling you,
First 8
amazing.
tellers rushed it. Zach, Ashley, Michael, Richard, I'm launching the poll. If your name is Zach, Ashley, Michael, Richard, you best vote for yourself or I'd be pissed at you. Don't be so nice. Uh, 30 of 38. I love the power I feel when I know what the poll results are and no one else does. Which says a lot about my day-to-day, doesn't it? Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a winner. I'm going to end the poll and almost everyone voted.
Everybody voted. Nice.
Everyone voted. What
Nice.
a great. I love it. All right. Great job. Section 2 done. Let's move on. Love the fact that you all showed up. Love these stories. We're going to keep doing this. Spread the word. By the way, some people were expecting Stephanie Rodgers to be here. She's a friend and she's a heavyweight in the storytelling community based in Chicago. She runs Story Jam, but she had something came up. So it's just me and Mary. Sometimes Stephanie also helps me host this. And she does a lot of wonderful things. She says hello. She wishes you well. I think she might have even said something about love. She said it twice. Okay.
So that
she probably made fun of my hat. Let's continue.
That's true. We all do. Sean.
Number 1, section 3. In New York. Jamie B. I just rhymed. Don't try this at home. Unmute. Take your time. Have fun.
I'm unmuted, yes? Okay. Whenever people ask me how I met Michael, I always tell them the same story. We met on September 23rd, 1990, on the first day of fall in Central Park at dusk. Oh, that's so romantic, girls would gush. Now, it's impolite to ask gay men how they met because the answer is rarely polite, especially in those days when it was a bathhouse or the phone sex lines or a bar at best. Michael and I did meet in Central Park, but we met in the Ramble, the Brothers Grimm wooded area, famous for watchers of birds and seekers of snakes, the one-eyed kind. And we both wandered in there just looking for a pearl necklace, which we found with each other. But we emerged from that park with something better, a pearl of love. And we went out a week later on a date, and we've been together ever since. And 30 years is a long time. We've seen a lot together. The Persian Gulf War, my alcoholism, 9/11, the death of our beloved cat Stoli, Hurricane Sandy, the death of both sets of our parents. But we never thought we needed the validation of a marriage certificate until the last 4 years. And then we thought, we better make it legal while we still can and exercise our rights. So on September 23rd, 2020, our Pearl anniversary, we hopped on Zoom during the pandemic and exchanged vows and then exchanged pearl necklaces left over from a junior league housewife costume. And we became husband and husband. Boom.
Boom indeed. Thank you, Jamie. You know what, Mary, I'm thinking about this. I think New York is representing pretty well as well, as are all the states, but we've had a few from New York and a few from Massachusetts. We always get a few from Chicago, a couple from the West Coast, a couple from Vegas, all over the place. We got to make this global, don't you think?
It does. I'm so impressed. I mean, the stories. I know who's still waiting in the kitty, and I'm amazed.
We have great storytellers waiting. We've had great stories already tell stories. We've got 6 storytellers from the first slam who are already in the grand slam. Can you imagine what that's going to be like?
Oh my goodness.
I'm turning into the kind of person on air persona that I hate. What I just did, that whole thing. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in the grand slam? Stop. Next stop.
It is exciting though, Sean. You're being sincere.
I'm very excited about it
Yeah,
because you
so
have no idea what my Sunday nights are without this stuff. I'm not even going to go there, but just look behind me how dark it is. That's all you need to know.
okay.
It's seriously
And
not.
your hat and your Peruvian hat. So I get
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Next up in Michigan, she is, I think, friends with Eminem. I'm not sure. Where are you, Cheri B? Where are you, Cheri? There you are. Cheri, unmute yourself. I'm going to spotlight you. Take your time. Have some fun.
Already unmuted. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so the other night, I gave my old friend Jason a call. And we decided we're going to go out to this club that's pretty cool. It's like a half pool room, half jazz room. So later on, we figured we'd go out that night. So we meet up, we go in, we're headed to the back room. It's the jazz room. And we see some old friends that we haven't seen in a while. But there's this friend of mine, Brian, and he and Jay have really bad blood between each other. So I decide, like, we're just gonna skip it. We'll just try to get past them. But unfortunately, they see us, and so I wave hi real quick. Like, figure quick pleasantries out of the way. Now we can go to the back room, right? No. I hear a ruckus. I turn back and I see Brian's bloody face. Jay had hit him for no reason. And next thing I know, my friend Randy's yelling, "Cheri, get him out of here," before he gets hurt. So I'm really confused now. But I'm like, okay. I pull Jay as hard as I can to get him in the back room, get him calmed down. Next thing I know, I'm getting pulled up to my feet and held back. I look over and some guy has Jay's arm twisted back so far that I can hear his bones breaking. And I start to cry. And next thing I know, I look up and there's all kinds of blood on Jay. And his bones are sticking out of his arm. Now, I have to do something. I cannot just lay back while he's getting his ass kicked. So I get broke away from that dude and I feel a sharp pain in my side. And I'm like, I just got stabbed. So I'm like, I hear the one dude say to the other guy, "Brian told us not to hurt her. Fuck." So I'm like just in disbelief at this point. That's when I wake up, pop out of bed, check my side 3 or 4 times, make sure I'm not stabbed, and even have to look at my sheets to make sure there's no blood on them. It was a nightmare. Boom.
That's what you get in Michigan. Thank you, Cheri. Tellers, please check the chat. People are giving you, I don't want to guarantee that they're sending only love in the chat. There could be some negative stuff. I don't think so. This is a nice group of people, supportive group of people. So they are undoubtedly giving you some love. All right, we're good. Queen Mary, 2 out of 4 done. After the 4, a summary and a vote. Next up, I'm going to ensure that there are 2 non-newbies. Green. Dan in, of course, Chicago. Dan, let me spotlight you. Take your time, sir. Unmute yourself whenever you're ready.
So I am headed downtown. It's a beautiful summer Chicago day, layers of blue in the sky and these 3 puffy clouds. It's a 3 cloud day. It's perfect for a Dan Boyd. When I hear out of the right side of my ear, this guy screaming at this woman, "Fuck you, blah, 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 blah." And I go a little bit and I'm just like, oh, I got to turn around. So I stop and I turn around and he sees me and he says, "Do you want to fucking go, bro?" And I say, I prefer not to. This is patented you can use this if somebody's trying to get in a fight with you or make you do a spreadsheet. Just say, I prefer not to, and they won't make you do it. I got it from a book. So he turns around, starts fighting with the girl again. And she says, I'm not your girlfriend anymore. We broke up months ago. But babe, I slept on your couch last night. We're not dating. And then he turns around to me and he rips off his shirt. He throws it on the ground and he says, are you ready to get your ass beat? Bro, you want to test this? And I think for a minute and I say, I prefer not to.
Did he just fade to black?
Yes, he did. He did.
Okay, do we allow sort of those extra technical
Fade to black? Is that even legal?
props and various things in which people are doing things? Okay. You know what? Look, there wasn't a rule explicitly stating he couldn't do it.
No.
If you know Dan, you know he's going to do something. Why not that? And you know what? Either way, his story's either going to be good enough to get through or not. We've got one more story before we take a vote. You guys are doing great. Love the extra stuff. Some people are probably going to have some props. At some point, someone's going to have a cat. We had somebody who included their wife last time. He knows who he is. He's here somewhere.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You never know.
You
You
don't.
just never know. Next up, live from Arizona, Mary, Mad Dog Joe, Pollack.
A couple years ago, I'm in the shower, and as I'm washing myself, I feel a lump on my chest, something I don't ever remember feeling before. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I dry off and I keep feeling this lump. And I think, well, my annual wellness check is in a week, so I probably can't get into the doctor any sooner than that anyway. I'm in the doctor's office. She always has me do my blood work before we meet, and she's going through everything. And she says, oh, this is good. Your cholesterol's better. Oh, you lost weight. Your BMI is better. What are you doing? I said, well, I'm trying to go to the gym a couple of times a week, and I'm following Weight Watchers. She goes, whatever you're doing, keep it up, really good. And I'm sort of stressing out. I have this list. And then she said, is there anything else that you wanted to ask me about? And I went, yeah, the other day in the shower, I felt this lump on my chest. I want you to feel it and tell me what you think. And I show her where it is, and she leans up to me and she says, Mary Jo, that's your chest bone. My chest bone? I hadn't felt that in 40 years.
Boom. Mary Jo in Arizona, Mary Jo Pollack. She lives in Tucson, which is a strange, I don't know who figured out the spelling of that place.
It's probably
not,
native.
yeah, so I have to be very careful now. I'm going to stop talking. Okay. Noted. Okay. Mary, you have a couple of announcements before you give the summaries. Is that correct?
Well, I think it's one. What? Yeah.
Say what you got to say. I know, and look what I'm doing here. I'll say it, okay?
Okay.
Because it sucks. Unfortunately, one of our tellers was over. They cannot be considered. Sorry, Cheri. You know. Loved your story. Got to keep it. Got to keep the integrity of the 99. So those three storytellers and their stories, would you summarize and vote? Love you, Cheri.
Love you, Cheri. So Jamie talked about how he met Michael on a beautiful fall day in the woods and then solidified their love 30 years later with their perfect love. Dan talked about how he preferred to stay out of a fight on a beautiful Chicago day, a 3-cloud day, in fact. And Mary Jo talked about how a scary lump had her doctor confirming that she could finally feel her chest bone after 40 years.
Boom. Got it. We are going to run those 3. Everyone, please vote.
I still love you guys too. Just wanted to say.
Nobody wants that set. Yeah, nobody wants that, but you know how it is.
No, I was afraid of it, but I thought I had gotten a little quicker, but
yeah. Hey, it's happened to others, and you'll get tighter and better, and next time you're going to come and crush it. I'm going to announce the poll right now. Please, everyone, vote Jamie, Dan, or Mary Jo. Wow. Did you see what just happened, Mary?
Yeah.
It went one way and then it went the other way.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right, guys, we have 36 of 39. I think that's one person that could make a difference. If you've not voted,
please vote.
Please vote. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great job. Loving this.
Yeah.
Going fast. We're at 7:52. Let's keep it moving. You guys are doing great. Thanks to our audience. Thanks to our tellers. I'm still imagining what the rest of your homes look like. Because for most of you that I know and I've seen you, it's the same exact spot for months already.
It is.
You know, I don't know Aaron Samson, for example. So I don't know. That's new. It's fine. You know, but Ronna, Kory, Andrew with that same damn picture above his left side of his ear. It never goes away. I'm sick of the picture, Shelfo. Next up, live from the Toronto, Ontario area, Erin Rodgers. Have fun.
Fantastic. Give me 1 second.
Take your time.
Okay. So when I was a kid, I went to church every single Sunday. But as an adult, I do comedy. So I've basically, for better or worse, spent years systematically pulling apart everything I was taught to believe. A few years ago, I was hanging out with a friend I'll call Jay. Now, Jay is a pretty successful stand-up comedian, or at least Canadian successful. So he doesn't have like a fancy house, he has an apartment. And we're at his apartment and I'm meeting his family for the first time, his mom and dad. And his dad, unfortunately, is in pretty advanced stages of Alzheimer's. And so he kind of shuffles in and he's very quiet and he's sitting in the corner. But his mom is so excited to chat to me and tell me all about her wonderful son. And Jay, kind of embarrassed at one point, goes out to have a cigarette. And his mom turns to me and she says, you know, when Jay was a little boy, he wanted to be either an engineer or a garbage man. And his dad suddenly out of nowhere perks up. He's suddenly like 6 feet taller. And he looks right at me and he says, well, now he's a stand-up comedian. So he's both. And I start to laugh. And right at that moment, he disappears back into himself and he's gone. I don't know exactly what I believe, but I definitely believe in the power of the perfect one-liner. Boom.
Thank you, Erin.
How do I mute myself? There we go.
I keep thinking, for some bizarre reason, that I can talk when I'm muted and you're going to hear me.
We all do on Zoom every once.
Don't we sometimes all do that from time to time? Yeah. Okay.
We're human.
Next up, live also from, I think she's in Massachusetts. Chandreyee.
Yes.
I get confused with where she lives. I'm not sure if she's in Iowa or Texas. Where are you?
Anu is in Iowa.
Oh, okay.
2 Indians off and on the show.
Don't put me in that spot. I already just put myself. Yeah. All right. I'm going to shut up again. I'm stopping talking. Bye-bye.
That's okay. All right. So the alarm went off for the 3rd time that week, and my usual team swarmed into the room and snapped into action. One doctor put a fetal monitor onto my 5-month pregnant belly. Another one started reading the report spooling out of the machines. And a third one got ready for an internal examination because I had been going into labor and having contractions for a few weeks. And every time it threatened to put me into active labor. And at that an early stage, baby did not have very good chances. So I got to lie back on the bed while they went to work, look at the ceiling and take shallow breaths and try to fight the rage that I had against my misbehaving reproductory system because it was misbehaving. They tell me that my cervix was incompetent and my uterus was irritable. So I couldn't handle the tension anymore. And I addressed the doctor who was looking at said irritable uterus. And I said, "Hey, doc, how's Ursula?" And his head snapped up in shock and he had this horrible expression on his face. And I realized he thought I was talking about the doomed baby that I had named. And I said, no, Ursula is my irritable uterus. How's she doing? The room had gone quiet by this time. The machines weren't beeping. The crisis seemed to have passed. And he let this smile spread across his face and he said, "Ursula's doing fine." My son is 14 years old now. And he is also doing fine. Boom.
Boom. Massachusetts. Same hair, though. I love your hair. Good job. Thank you. And I think you're in a new place than I typically see you. So that's also nice.
Hey.
We should actually, that should be a rule. Maybe next slam, that'll be a rule. Got to be in a new place. You know?
Got to move it around, shake it up.
Shake it up. Here we go. Storyteller number 3. All right, so we have another vet. So the last one, regardless, is going to be a newbie. Newbie, I shouldn't say that. Don't want to influence your votes. New to this world, this bubble. Be very seasoned storytellers. Marya Morris, where are you? There you are. Unmute yourself.
One sec. I stood up and said, I got to get out of here right now. I walk outside into a blizzard. I'm in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It's about 1985. I'm looking for my car, and it was like I turned a corner, and there it is with these disco strobe lights swirling around it. Exactly what I needed because I had no idea where I was going to find it under all the snow. I had to go to this farm, and I'm in the car, I'm driving. The snowflakes are coming towards me like in a Star Wars opening credits scene. And I'm thinking, they'll welcome me. They love me. I hadn't been there in 4 years. I didn't tell them I was coming, but I knew that they would be happy to see me. I'm driving. I hear this scraping under my car. I think there's like 24 tiny men scraping the rust off my muffler. And I realized I hadn't seen the silos. There are 2 beautiful silos at the edge of their driveway, and I hadn't seen them. I knew I went too far. I stopped at the next house. The lady came to the door and she said, "Hi, do you need help?" I said, "Yes, I'm lost. But why are the fish swimming on your robe?" And she said, "What are you on? Are you on the pot?" I said, "I'm not on the pot. I don't smoke pot. I had the mushrooms. Thank you." Boom.
Boom. Was that you timing yourself, Marya?
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, because the last time, you know.
Last time you went over. Nobody wants that. Well done. Good adjustments. Not going over this time. Marya's in Chicago, by the way. She's our 3rd or 4th storyteller. Section 4. Let's keep it moving. We're going to have a pink one. Yes. Lynne, Jassem in California. Unmute yourself. You're good.
Hello. I'm good to go. Okay. It was the early 80s, and I had the pleasure of being asked to join a very prestigious puppet theater. The company was very well known, and had done select audiences for very special people internationally. I was presented with a giant styrofoam head of Minnie Mouse, a Carmen Miranda bodysuit, stacked heels about 6 inches high, and giant bosoms that flashed on and off when you pressed a button. In addition to this, I was performing with a kick line of bananas to There's No Business Like Show Business. On this one occasion, we were doing a show for the opera singer Luciano Pavarotti. Everything was going beautifully. I was walking off after my number, feeling really good, and I looked back out onto the stage and saw this flashing light. Oh my God, it's my bosoms, and I couldn't turn them off. What am I gonna do? It's the end of my career. Or I'll just have to get work as a giant mouse with consistently flashing bosoms. So the show comes to an end, and the director goes over to Luciano and says, "Is there anything else we can do for you, sir?" "Well, I tell you, I'd love to have my picture taken with the giant dancing mouse with the flashing tits."
And there it is.
And there it is.
And there it is, our fourth storyteller of this section. Thank you to all of you, and thank you for our final four who are being very patient. Check the chat for some love. Mary.
Yes.
Do you have any announcements?
No, we're good.
Good on time. We need a little summary. We're going to vote whenever you're ready.
All right. So Erin talked about the power of the perfect one-liner, bringing her friend's dad out of his Alzheimer's moments. Chandreyee talked about her Ursula, her irritable uterus, and now her very healthy 14-year-old son. Marya talked about not being on the pot, but on the shrooms. And all I'll say about Lynne's is flashing bosoms.
I think that's about what we need. Yep.
All I need to say.
All right. I am going to launch this poll. 41 people minus 2. That means we should have 39. And it is Erin, Chandreyee, Marya, and Lynne. Here we go. It's close. Interesting. Usually I'm like, I think I'm, leaning towards this person or that person, but every now and then you're surprised and you're like, wow, you don't know. I mean, they're all good stories. You never know. You never know how the audience is going to vote unless you pay them. Then you know exactly how they're going to vote. But we don't do that here, just to be very clear. 36 of 39. I think we have at least one more person who could vote. It's not going to change the results, so I'm going to end the poll. Good job. Final 4. Here we go. And then what we're going to do after these 4, we're going to take another vote. Take a quick break, bathroom, booze, whatever you want. I'll give the opportunity for a very quick plug by our tellers. Some of them are on other shows. They're producing something, but real quick. So think about it now, real quick, just because we don't want this to take too long. And of course, we can stay after as well. We typically do that. That's also a good time to do that. Next up, live also from Massachusetts, Julie Baker.
My ex-husband moved out 8 months ago, and I'm horny. I don't want to get into a relationship right away. And if I sleep with somebody, if I date them, then I'm going to end up having them be my boyfriend without even really realizing it. So I'm looking for a friend with benefits, not one of my friends. So I go online. I rule out all the ones who are looking for long walks on the beach and hiking and blah, blah, blah. I see his profile, and it's basically erotica. He talks about putting his hand on the small of my back and sliding it down over my ass. He's the one. I reach out. He says, great. We meet. We like the look of each other. So I know it's just going to be a matter of time before I lose my post-divorce, horniness. We have sex. It's great. The next day is my children's birthday party. I'm still amicable with my ex, so he's there. It's a lip sync party at the In-Sync dance studio. My son's turning 3, my daughter's turning 7. They have a monitor where they read lyrics and step to a mic and sing. My ex says to me, isn't it going to be weird when we start dating and somebody sleeps with somebody? I tried to will myself not to blush, but I couldn't help it. He looks at me and says, you did? Just then, Zane steps up to the mic and says, gonna be a bad day, bad day.
Boom. Thank you, Julie. Massachusetts, wearing a Santa hat. Good job. Moving it right along. Here we go. Next teller. I don't know where he is. I do know that he is one of the few first names that have 2 vowels in a row. It's not a common thing. Erin, where are you, by the way, Erin?
I'm in Bay Area.
All right. Very nice. Northern California. Take your time. Have some fun.
Have you ever done something really stupid? I was 19 years old and it was New Year's Eve and I was in a crowd of people waiting for the fireworks. There was a circle of cops keeping the crowd off the street and I was shoulder to shoulder with my best friend, Darren. I turned to Darren and whisper, hey, I brought these firecrackers. We should light them and throw them in that circle of cops. Oh. Darren looks at me and says, dude, that's a terrible idea. I say, as if this is some sort of logic, be cool, dude. It'll be fun. And before Darren could even get another word in, I bend down really low. I light the firecrackers. I throw this perfect hook shot over the crowd. It hits one of the cops in the helmet, lands on the ground and goes boom. And I pretend like nothing happened, okay? But a minute later, Darren turns to me and goes, dude, they're looking at us. I say, no, they're not. You gotta just be cool. He says, they're coming towards us. I say, be cool. But Darren's right. 2 cops are coming right at us. One of us reaches for us and grabs Darren. He handcuffs him, arrests him, and walks him back to the paddy car. I'll never forget Darren's expression as he's like looking over his shoulder back at me as if he's saying, dude. And from that point on, the mission of the evening became very simple. I needed to bail Darren out of jail and make things right. Boom.
Erin in the Bay Area getting on board with the boom. Love it. Yeah, I'm dying to know what's behind that sheet too, but I'm not going to ask. There's something behind there. I think we're all wondering. Power of surprise. You never know.
Maybe.
All right. We have got 2 more. We've got a vote. We've got a break. We've got an announcement for our second round. I hope everyone can stay with us. Nice. Next up, I think she's in Boston too, but I'm not sure. She's going to tell me if I'm wrong.
Tracey, heck no. I'm in Seattle.
Oh, wow. So wrong. Seattle. She's got a prop. He's alive. Whenever you're ready.
On December 23rd, 1988, I arrived at LaGuardia Airport with my paper ticket and my paper boarding pass, and I was ready. And I checked in early, and the ticketing agent said, I'm sorry, you're going to be bumped today from your flight. And I was like, how is that possible? And she said, we overbooked. It's a holiday flight. If someone decides to give up and let you go, then that's a possibility. But you're number 9 on the list. Well, I like to be a problem solver. So I circulated. I met at least 10 businessmen that did not have to be in Pittsburgh that very night. Then I lined them up on a bench and I went up to the ticket lady and I said, there you go. Here are 10 people that are willing to give me my spot. And she got mad. And she said, you can't do that. And I said, why? And she said, well, I'm going to go get a manager. And she stomped off. Okay. She was gone a very, very long time. She was gone so long that it was 6:45 and the flight was supposed to leave at 7. And so I stepped behind her precious desk. I turned the microphone on And I said, good evening, TWA flight 637, bound for Pittsburgh. We're now going to begin boarding. Rows 27 through 30, please make your way to the jetway. And it worked. I was boarding the plane. She came back and she said, what are you doing? And I said, well, your job. And she said, it's against the law. You must come with me. And I said, hang on 1 second. Thank you, TWA flight 637, for your patience. We're now boarding rows 15 through 17. And she motioned for me to come with her, and I held up my boarding pass, and I said, whoops, that's me, row 15, gotta go. And I boogied, I got on the plane, and I got to see my grandma for Christmas Eve.
Wow. What the hell is going on in Seattle? Wow. Okay. Good job, Tracey. Thank you.
She's something we've all wanted to do. I got to tell you, Sean. Tracey,
What?
something we've all wanted to do. We've all wanted to do that, Tracey.
Hey.
Yeah.
She did it in Seattle. Man, you're muted if you wanted to say something.
That was in LaGuardia.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying, but you're physically in Seattle, where you are, and the person behind you, and I don't need to know your relationship to him, but it's just interesting.
That's my prince.
Let us wonder. The only storyteller left of round one is the only storyteller who knew and was waiting and knew he was going to be next. He's the only one, right? It's the way math works. So I don't have to show him, but I will. Kyle, let me spotlight you with that big smile. You and Kory with that damn smile. Have fun.
Great. You guys can hear me okay? Awesome. I'm sitting on my comfy couch in the corner of my comfy spot, and I'm naked. Only I'm not all the way naked. I've also got my comfy robe on with the hood. I'm popping Skittles like popcorn, watching Sports Center, but it's a weekday. It's 9:30 in the morning, and I don't have a job. When I get 3 text messages from my wife, almost in succession. The first one is a YouTube clip, and I click on it, and the title says, "Video camera treat dispenser for dogs." She's at work and sending me this message, and I'm getting the message. And then she says the second message to me, and I read it, and it says, "Imagine you are the dog in this video." Okay, I can do that. So I watch the video, and then I hear the voice of God. The voiceover on the video says, "He is your lifetime partner." The voice continues, "He is your fur baby who never grows up." Well, that's definitely me. "And he is sometimes naughty, guilty as charged." And I think I don't really like the idea of my privacy being invaded with the video part of this thing. And then the third text message comes in from my wife, and it says, "By the way, with hearts, we could fill the thing with Skittles." And while I don't want to be held accountable, the idea of having a machine shoot Skittles into my mouth from 4 feet away during the day while I'm not working, that's a win for me. Boom.
Nice job. Kyle in the DC area. All right. Final storyteller, round one. Mary, any announcements, summaries?
Oh, no, everybody's good. Everybody's
All
good.
right. I am ready to summarize and then launch our poll.
Yes. Julie B talked about her friend with benefits adventure and somehow showing with her red face to her ex-husband what exactly had happened. Erin talked about throwing fireworks in the middle of a circle of cops and having to make it right with his friend Darren. Tracey did what we all wanted to do, which was handle our stewardess's job to get on a plane to get home to see her grandmother. And Kyle's wife found a unique way to get him to take a camera and in his house with Skittles while he's home, not working.
I have done my best to put that into something that people can recognize.
Yeah.
I think it's enough information, perhaps not perfect.
No.
Let me save it. Let me launch it. And then we'll take 5. I'll have a few announcements as our tellers might as well. Here we go. Julie, Erin, Tracey, and Kyle. And the votes are coming in.
I like that. Naked Skittles. The name of a band.
Are there any other kind?
True. True, Kory. You're like, hello.
Everyone should vote. All right. Almost everybody is in. All right. Let's end that poll. We are going to wait to announce people just because why not do it that way? Now, this is a good opportunity to go to the bathroom. Some people have done that already. They've probably taken themselves off video, gone to the bathroom. A few people, and I won't name names, have probably stayed on video and gone to the bathroom. No judgments. There are people who might want to refresh their drinks. They might get a, who knows, right? And this is an opportunity. If you were a teller, it might be easier just if you raise your hand, just to do a quick plug or promo of any work you're doing, shows you're promoting, shows you're going to be in, but make it quick. Go, Erin. You got to unmute yourself and then go. Yeah.
On the 27th, I'm celebrating my 40th birthday with a night of storytelling. I am going to put the link to the free tickets in the chat. I'm also telling stories themed. I'm sorry, this feels like a lot of pressure. Also, Billy Joel stories.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
There we go. I will also send a link to my 30 days of Billy Joel stories. Those are the things. Hooray.
Cool. And so, and given the world we live in, people can rather easily find you. Put your name into Facebook or Instagram. I'm sure it'll come up somewhere. Lynn's got her hand up, and then we'll go to Marya. You got to unmute yourself. Trying to be organized here, doing the best I can.
Okay, I'm going to pin video. All right. I think it's March 26th. I'm very busy until then, but I'm going to do my new show, which is called Being Richard Green, which is an evening of tap dance, mime, comedy, storytelling, video. It's going to be so funny and so poignant. It's going to be at the Whitefire Theater in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
California.
You do realize that most people won't be able to get there, but they can still support you if they want to.
It'll be for everybody could see it.
Hey, wonderful. Who else has got something?
Me.
Marya and then Dan. Marya, go.
Okay, Stephanie Rogers and Vandy Perky and I at Story Jam have Cocoon, which is every other Saturday. The next one is January 9th. It's a open mic peer review, peer sharing, stories in progress thing we do. We also have a Martin Luther King honor show coming up on January 20th with music and stories, which is going to be next level. And Stephanie will be announcing the next set of classes, Story Jam Studio classes, coming up in the next week or two.
Boom.
That's all.
Dan.
I have a workshop show that is on Monday, and we just geek out for 2 hours about stories.
Cool. Who else?
Jamie had his hand up.
Jamie
Sean.
B.
Hi. I have a memoir called Dangerous When Wet, a memoir of booze, sex, and my mother. And easiest way to get it is ebook on Amazon or any of those sites, or as an audiobook narrated by me. And I am doing I do a solo show based on that book, and the next performance is in Indianapolis in March, and it might be virtual, so maybe everyone can see it, even if you're not in Indianapolis. Thanks.
Boom. Thank you, Jamie.
And I'll post a link to my site, which has everything on there. And, I'm on all the usual social media.
Got it. Do I see any other hands up? All right. We are going to announce the 6 people who are going to go to the second round in about a minute. Get comfy. This is the moment before. This is when you're in the wings. You're on that stage. and your moment is coming and you're breathing, and then you have a moment of terror or two or maybe three. You say, I can't do this. I'm going to fail. I'm going to make a fool of myself. Everyone's going to laugh at me. But then somehow that magic happens. You get on that fucking stage, excuse my French, and you nail it. And that's beautiful. I don't know where I'm going with the theater thing. It's not really what we're doing here.
Sure.
But nonetheless, let me give it about another minute. While we wait, this is 100% free. By the way, the tellers, this is like gambling. The tellers pay $5. The winner gets cash. I turned things on its head. I'm going to put a link into the chat. It seems like there's about 23,000 messages.
They are. This is a chatty group.
I am going to put a link into the chat, and there's a lot of them. I got to find the right link. Our audience, this is free. There's no pressure. It is completely anonymous. If you want to make a little contribution to the cause here in the various events we put on, usually on Sunday nights, and a couple of different podcasts that we do, you want to help us with that, I will give you an opportunity to do that by putting a Venmo link and a PayPal link into the chat, and make sure that it is for everyone. There it is. Really no pressure. I'm happy to do these things. I'm happy to eat cat food. It's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, so we have our 5 winners.
Check out Michael.
What?
Check out Michael. Oh my God.
What's up with Michael?
Nothing at all.
Where's Michael?
No, just tell the winners.
I am. Just a moment. Here we go. We have 5 people who won each section, and the judges agreed on one other person, but you're not going to know who's who. You're just going to hear 6 names. You all did wonderful. How do you do this nicely, Mary? Really? We love you. You did great. Thanks for coming. Stick around. Stick to the second round. Blah, blah, blah. In no particular order, Richard Munchkin, Ronna Levy, Erin Rodgers, Mary Jo Pollack, Jamie Brickhouse, and Tracey Croisier. I'm not sure of your last name. Those are the 6. The audience voted for 5. Mary and I picked a 6. We agreed. It was not easy. There were several names we were jockeying about. Congrats to those people. Congrats to everyone. I said it when we started. There's going to be a lot of good tellers and a lot of good stories that don't make it through. Always the case. So thank you. Those names go back into the Peruvian hat. We do it one more time. If I can find the other name. If you want to get upset, send it to me, Sean, one of the hosts. You can get angry with me. I can handle it. I can handle it. The 6 names are going back into the hat. And by the way, look at how it worked out. 3 pink, 3 green. You can't write this stuff, man. Those 6 storytellers, please get ready to share your second stories. By the way, it is hard to know. What do? Do you tell your first story first, your better story, or your better story second? You got to get into the second round, but once you're in, you want to win. Look, I get it. Our first storyteller of round number 2, and everybody's voting, Erin.
Okay. And I'm starting. I'm 8 years old, and all I want to do is be good at school. I'm so dorky, and school is what I'm supposed to be good at, but I am bad at math. And all I want to do is sit in the back and read books, but no one will let me. I can't read a digital clock. There's so many things that I can't remember when I am supposed to. One day, my teacher sits me down and she says, Erin, I do not understand you. Why aren't you trying? Why don't you try? Every day I try to get you to try and you aren't paying attention. You're staring off into space. What is wrong? And I tell her, I don't know. I start to cry. I'm trying my very best. She says, no, you aren't. I can tell. And you're going to sit here, right here, until all of this work is done. And I sit for 30 minutes and I can't get it done. And so she rolls her eyes and goes, I did my best, and lets me leave. About 3 years ago, I went and I got an ADHD diagnosis. And all I want in the world is to go up to that teacher and be like, you know what? I figured it out. It's not me, it's you. It's the entire system. The problem is I can't remember her name. Boom.
Boom. Erin Rodgers in Toronto, Ontario. Is she a fan of the Argonauts? No one cares. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. We don't care about Canadian football. That's all I'm saying.
Canadians don't care about Canadian football.
They don't care. What's an Argonaut? What is an Argonaut, really? Great job. Great job. I'll leave it at that. Everyone's done really well. I'm wondering what I'll do, Mary, when a lot of people don't do well and I'm forced to lie. I haven't had to. I have never had to because everyone shows up and does so well.
No.
I'm so pleased. I just, yeah, it's awesome. Our second storyteller. I'm wondering if we've lost any tellers. You know what I mean? There might be one or two like, man, I'm out. I'm going to go have some Hennessy and smoke a cigar, you know? I would do that.
We're holding.
Next up,
We're holding.
we're going from Toronto. We're heading south, slightly east. She's drinking. She's already drinking. See that? Boom. Water. Ronna Levy. Have some fun.
Okay. Summer 1983. I'm at my friend Lisa's parents' house in Long Island having 3 days by the pool. I'm away from my cramped Manhattan apartment, my waitress job, 3 days of relaxation. So in the morning, before I head to Long Island, I call my parents. They live in Boston. And my mother answers the phone. And I hate talking to my mother. It's like, there's no conversation. It's like, I have a mother, but I don't have a mother. She's always depressed. So like, okay, 2 weeks ago, I went to visit my parents in Boston and my mother's sitting in the backyard reading and I'm gonna go out and talk to her, but there's nothing. So I go up to her and I just straighten her wig. It doesn't even need straightening, but I just like had to do something. She's wearing a wig because she just had chemo. It's not cancer. Doctors think it'll help her multiple sclerosis. I don't know, whatever. So, okay, so I'm on the phone. So I tell my mother to get me my father and I give him the information. So I'm relaxing by the pool this evening and the phone rings. It's my dad. Ma's gone. I'm on a plane to Boston. I got my jeans and t-shirt over my wet bathing suit. The last thing I said to my mother was to put my dad on the phone. And the last time I saw my mother, I straightened her wig. Like I have a mother and I don't have a mother. And now I really don't have a mother. And I wish I did. Thank you.
Boom. Thank you, Ronna in Brooklyn. We're going to the major metropolises, aren't we? Toronto's a very large city. New York is a large city. Whether we include Brooklyn and New York, which of course it is, or like they did with Welcome Back, Kotter, where it was sort of its own thing and it was claimed to be like the 5th largest city on its own. I think I'm getting in the weeds here, Mary.
I think you are. Yeah.
I think I'm getting in the weeds.
I think you are. Pull back.
Second
Pull back.
storyteller done. We've got 6 total. We will vote. There will be a champion. All 6 of these tellers will go to our Grand Slam. The date is TBD. There will be 1, maybe 2 more slams like this in the coming weeks. Of course, I'll let you know about it. Our next storyteller, live from Tucson, Mary Jo Pollack.
I'm 22 years old. I'm with a friend of mine, and we're outside Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, and we're waiting for our dates that we had agreed to meet at the venue. My friend and her boyfriend fixed me up with one of his friends. I just moved to LA, and I'm thinking, this is great. You know, maybe I'll meet someone, maybe I'll be interested in him. We the guys show up and we have a little small talk. We sit down. The concert begins. It's classical music. I'm enjoying it. Intermission comes. We all stand up and stretch a little. And my date excuses himself to use the restroom. And I'm talking to my friend. And they're starting to get sort of cuddly and holding hands. And I'm feeling awkward. So I'm just sort of sitting there looking around. And I'm thinking, where's my date? Where's my date? And the lights lower and the music starts and he doesn't show up. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, am I some sort of a horrible person? He can't even sit next to me for the second half of the concert. Do I smell bad? What's going on? And I'm stuck there. My friend drove. Finally, the concert's over and she takes me home. A couple days later, she calls me and she said, I called my boyfriend and I asked him to find out why his friend was so rude and left in the middle of the concert. And he told me, my friend thought Mary Jo is Jewish. I am Jewish. He doesn't like Jews. Oh, he's the horrible person.
Boom. Thank you, Mary Jo. All right. So we had Erin in Toronto, Ronna in Brooklyn, Mary Jo in Tucson. We've got 3 more. It's 8:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing okay. I've got to say, Mary and I are not sucking. Here we go. Number 4. Live from Las Vegas. We're heading a little bit north and way west. I actually don't know where Vegas really is. I've heard of it. Where are you, Richard? Let me spotlight you. Speak to me, Munchkin.
Here I am. You see me?
There you are. Okay. That's it. Perfect. Perfect.
My wife looks at me and she says, you need a haircut. You look like a murderer. And I'm like, what does that even mean? And she's right. I do need a haircut. I used to go to the barber once a month, but when COVID hit, not only couldn't I go to the barber, well, I stopped shaving too. And for the first time in my life, I grew a full beard. So I go and I have this trimmer with all these fancy attachments. And I think, I'll just trim my beard and I'll cut my own hair. How hard can it be? And so I start trimming and cutting and, it's not going well. I once had a dog with mange where his hair started falling out, and this kind of looks worse. And I come out of the bathroom afterwards and my wife goes, oh my God, you look like a lunatic. And so after 2 or 3 months, everything has grown back out and it kind of looks like it does now. And I go to my wife and I say, hey, you never said anything about the beard. A lot of testosterone went into growing this thing. Like, what do you think? And she says, she strokes my cheek and she says, oh, you look like unggoy, which is a Filipino word. And I say, what does that mean? Is that like sexy, handsome? And she says, yes, something like that. And so I go to Google and I look it up and there it is, unggoy, monkey.
Jack. All right, Richard Munchkin in Las Vegas, aka the monkey. We were all thinking it, I guess, anyway, right? So she just put words to it. Good job, Richard. Love these stories tonight. They're getting better and better every slam.
Yeah.
Really, they really are. It's like a little movement we have here.
It's like people are out there practicing, being like amazing like they usually are.
Totally.
Yep.
2 more. They know who they are. They're waiting anxiously. They're probably just breathe. Here we go. Jamie Brickhouse. Let me find you, JB. There he is. Let me spotlight you. You got to unmute yourself. Take your time. Have some fun.
Okay. I completely lose it when Gus dies. Gus is a dog. He's not even my dog. He's my brother Jeffrey's dog. And I'm down in Dallas this past October visiting Jeffrey. It's the first time I've seen him in 5 years. We've been estranged once again because I'm just tired of cleaning up his messes and lending him money that I'll never get returned, which I think is all due to his undiagnosed mental illness and untreated addiction. And here I am at the vet paying to put his dog down because he can't afford to. And he's not even here with me because he's too weak to leave his apartment because of the cancer that's killing him, which is the reason why I'm down there. And after I collect myself, the vet says, would you like to keep Gus's ashes for another $200? I'm thinking, no, I don't want a dog's ashes. What am I going to do with a dog's ashes? But Gus was like a child to Jeffrey. And he was the only living thing on this earth for the last 14 years that Jeffrey could have a completely loving and uncomplicated relationship with. So I say yes. And 6 weeks later, I receive Gus's cremains. And I think two things. One, what am I going to do with the dog's ashes? And two, they look kind of like cat litter. And then 2 weeks later, I received Jeffrey's ashes. And I remember what he said to me when I came back from the vet, and I told him how it went. And he thanked me and he said, I want you to mix Gus's ashes with mine. And I look at those doggy ashes and I know what I'm going to do with them. Boom.
Boom. Thank you, Jamie. Good job, y'all. This last round is going to be a very close vote. There's no doubt about that. So everyone's got to vote. We had 41. We're down to 38. If you can find these three people and bring them to me, there will be an incentive. I will make it worth your while. You don't leave the slam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably have like kids that are going to bed and I'm all about me. Here we go. Our final storyteller this evening. She's been waiting patiently in Seattle, but she's got some emotional support behind her. Tracey, where are you?
I am here. Croisier is
Gotta figure out a better way to find you, people. Have some fun.
Right
Final storyteller of the night.
I've been here the whole time. Okay. I met friends for dinner in Seattle, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and I said, I'm walking home because I love my new place. And they said, you know, Seattle's kind of dangerous this time of night. I'm like, I lived in Bed-Stuy in New York. I think I can walk home by myself. What I didn't know was that Pike and Second is a really popular place to exchange drugs. And I'm walking home and this big hooded burly guy who looked like 7 feet tall bumps into me, then grabs my elbow and he says, hey, lady, give me your, you know, the thing, when you put the money in. And I said, you want my wallet? Yeah, that thing. And I said, you know, if you can't say it, you can't have it. And he says, well, you're a mean bitch. And I said, look, just let me alone. And he goes, no, give me the whole thing now, the thing that's on your shoulder. You want my purse with the wallet? Yeah, both of them. Same thing applies here. If you can't say it, you can't have it. Listen, this is what we're going to do. You're going to cross the street in 3 seconds or I'm screaming, holy hell. And when I look up, I realize that his eyes are really screwed up and I'm in deeper than I thought. And he goes, well, I don't want to cross the street. I said, you cross the street or I scream, holy hell. So I point and I said, I'm 3, you're going to cross. 3, 2, 1, cross. And there's a little red hand that pops up and he goes, I can't cross now. I don't want to jaywalk. Boom.
Wow. And that's how we end it. All right. Thank you, Tracey. Thank you to our 6 second rounders, Tracey, Jamie, Mary Jo, Erin, Ronna, and Richard. Queen Mary is going to summarize. I'm going to launch a poll. You are going to vote. I will drag it out, annoyingly so, for a little bit, and then I'll announce.
All right. So Erin talked about how she really, really wanted to do well in school and wanted to tell her teacher finally when she became an adult that she had ADHD, but couldn't remember her name. Ronna in Long Island had a mom, then didn't have a mom, and talked about how she felt about that with the last time she saw her. Mary Jo had a date that was just flat out rude and racist. Richard, wife described him as a monkey with his haircut. Jamie, just his wife. Oh, sorry, wife. Yes. Yeah. Jamie dealt with remains of a dog and a friend, and he was responsible for his ashes. And Tracey said if you can't say it, you can't have it with a robber.
Got it. 6, Erin, Ronna, Mary Jo, Richard, Jamie, Tracey. Awesome. Great job, y'all. Real quick. Thank you to our audience and our other tellers. I'm going to say the names real quick. I just feel compelled. Julie Baker, Dan Squander, Kyle Horton, Aaron Samson, Kory Thomas May, Andria A, Chandreyee L. I'm doing a weird thing with the last names. Walt B, Lynne. I'm killing the last name. Zach, Michael B, who really has a special place in the Slam heart. Michael does. I really appreciated that. Ashley, Marya, and Cheri. I'm going to launch the poll. And we're going to have a winner. Here we go. Slam 2. This is the second slam of this section of slams. Here we go. I'm launching. I hope everyone can vote. We'll have a winner. Y'all are winners, but you know what I mean. It is really close. I want everyone to vote, please. We're almost done. We've got about 6 or 7 more of you that have not voted. All right, a couple more. And there's actually a few more people. So I don't want to drag it out. Not going to force anyone to vote. It's really close. I think there are a few people that are on here, but not really on here. So let's close it out in 3 seconds. 1, 2. All right. We have a winner, do we not, Mary?
We do.
Do we have any announcements before we announce our winner?
No, we don't have any announcements other than the winner.
I want you to have the honors.
Oh,
and then I want everyone to stick around if you'd like to chat. Totally understand if you want to bail.
Yes. Well, I will still take pride in the Northeast winning. I believe she's in New York. Ronna is our winner.
Well done, Ronna.
Wow.
Really close votes in both first and second rounds, but you deserved it. 2 really good stories.
Thank you.
Yes.
Really good, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Are we going to put Ronna on an awkward spot?
Awesome, Ronna.
Thanks.
No speech. Thank you all for coming and telling and voting and supporting. We're going to have another one on January 10th. I'm playing with how often I can do this and get enough people who both tell and come and vote. I think that's a good amount of time. So everybody who has not gone on to the second round, they know who they are. You know who you are. They're pissed off a little bit. It's okay.
No. You just got to come back and tell. Come back and tell.
You're going to come back and tell, and there'll be opportunities. And so please do that. I'm going to put everyone's throwing in the chat a bunch of stuff to our tellers, Ronna, among others. So check that out. I've got nothing else. Mary, do you?
No, just to say again, I'm just blown away by all the talent that came tonight and told stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really good stuff.
Yes.
Snaps or claps or